I was thinking Randall might come by, but I don't know. He might jump on. He said he's helping a friend. He flew down from from Hawaii to Arizona, and he's been there for almost like this whole week. It seems like, or since last Thursday. So maybe he'll join in. So if he jumps in and it's this tall, skinny, scraggly looking guy, it's Randall. Don't be alarmed.
That'll be that creepy triangle face, man.
Yeah, he's got like a
Oh,
weird
is
little.
that Randall?
Yeah. Oh, here we
I
go.
see like the little faces all the time, and I never know who's who except for Rick because he's got the camera.
Okay, what are you doing? He goes, Japanese cheesecake, BRT. So, I don't know what that means. Maybe be right there.
You're right there.
British. Possibly. I don't know. Anyway, so we're here to talk about IPAs. I am drinking a Hercules double IPA from Great Divide Brewing Company. I feel like I've had something else from them.
Have you ever had Yeti?
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yep, Yeti. I'm gonna pour me a. This is my second glass here. I put this really nice picture on Instagram of me pouring in a glass. I like being cheesy like that. I got all these aloe vera plants in my patio.
That was very well styled. I saw that one.
Aloe vera plants are very resilient plants. If you kill an aloe vera plant, you're just bad at growing plants.
I have a
Currently-
theory that that's why succulents are so expensive because they're hard to kill.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But at one point, this aloe vera plant was very tiny. It was just like the little root, and it was in a corner at our old apartment complex. And then I put it in a pot, and it slowly grew. And now I got like 10 plants out there from that same one that I thought was pretty much dead. So yeah, it just kind of rejuvenated itself and came back to life. Laura's currently watching what's this show called? Chrisley Knows Best. I don't know how y'all feel about
No idea what you're even talking about.
Don't know what that is.
reality TV that's scripted but made to look like it's fake but real. It's obviously
Yeah,
not
no.
totally real because you have cameras in there. What do they say once you start like observing something, you've already disturbed it or out of its original state? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. There was a Futurama joke about that. I can't remember what the principal's called or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you said Go ahead.
No, don't worry. No, long-winded science talking.
You said
so
you were
no.
drinking something from Intuition Brewing. What do you got over there?
Yeah, so I don't have the can, but it's the I-10 West Coast style IPA.
All right. Have you?
Very good.
What else comes from West Coast?
What else comes from West Coast?
Oh, I'm sorry. Intuition
Well,
Brewing.
it's Intuition. They do
We need to do
a
some
couple
jumping.
things that are pretty good.
Morning, Rick. Why are you all tired, Rick? Why are you tired? Come on, man.
No, you're just catching me off guard with these questions. No, so the main one they do is a barrel-aged beer every year called Underdark. It's an imperial style aged in oak, sometimes bourbon, sometimes blends. That's their big event of the year. Other than that, they just brew a handful of pretty good cans. IPA, they do an imperial stout called King Street Stout. That's good. A good brown ale. They just do a lot of good different things.
Are you a big IPA guy? I mean, you like
Yeah.
IPA?
I do. I was not for a while. I was all about the stouts, and I tried IPA so many times because I wanted to like them because they seemed like a cool beer to like. This is
Yeah.
way back when, and I just took forever. And then at one point, I had one day, and I all of a sudden liked it. So since then, I've been a fan. There's never not a time I don't have it in my fridge.
Yeah, I can't say I was ever a long fan or I don't know, ever been a fan of IPAs. IPA just feels like more IPA, but I don't know. But this one's tasting pretty good. It doesn't seem it's extremely bitter. I think it's at 85, but it still has this like I think it's the grapefruit that kind of takes out some of the bitterness for me and cancels it out.
But yeah, the hop profile makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Indeed, I'm also drinking a grapefruit IPA.
Okay, what kind are you drinking?
Oh, so jealous.
I got the Ballast Point, I think is how you say it. It's a horrible
Okay, yeah, I saw that one. About
Gulpin.
that one.
Yeah,
So I'm not
it's
a-
really good.
I'm not a huge IPA fan, but I actually like this one. And I think it's because the grapefruit kind of tones down the hoppiness.
Yeah,
So-
there's definitely something with the grapefruit canceling out the hoppiness to it. Um, there was this IPA that I tried with Four Corners Brewing in Dallas, and they call it the El Chingon, and that one was way too hoppy for me. I want to say that was only a 75 IBU. This one's an 85, and this one tastes delicious.
Yeah, they can get pretty gnarly, man. I mean, there's triple IPAs out there too, and you've got a double. And they're almost they're not bad. They can be good, but I mean, sometimes they're almost oniony. They're so hoppy.
They get to that point. Now, is this the hipster of craft beer IPAs? Did you say that?
I'm gonna go with yes.
I guess in the fact that like it's the thing everyone's drinking.
Is that why you wanted to convert to an IPA, be an IPA man from the stout family?
No, I just wanted to like all beers. I just saw a style I didn't like and wanted to like it. To be honest.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, IPAs have definitely they've grown on me since we've been trying these different beers and stuff like that. There was another IPA I think we sampled near. Was it
Dirt
on?
Wolf.
There we go. Dirt Wolf. That was
The
delicious.
first podcast. Liked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. Tear to my eye, man.
Oh, God,
Well-
Christ.
Rick, what do you got lined up for us on this podcast?
What I have lined up is going to be a fantastic tale to the history of IPAs. That's supposed to echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Epic.
Oh, you guys
Beautiful.
hearing that? No, it shouldn't echo that much.
It's enough I hear it over the sound waves coming at you. Okay, so IPAs, basically, it all originates basically as a pale ale. They were originally brewed from pure malt, kind of changed over time. Basically, you had just, pale ales, lots of different varieties, one of which is called an October beer. Came out around the mid-18th century, and it was actually just a pale, very well hopped ale that did well with aging, or sometimes needed aging. So the name IPA literally comes from beers that were being transported to India because they could last the journey well and be a good selling point when it got there and be beer that people wanted to drink. So, the East India Trading Company is a big part of it because they did most of the trading itself, and then a few breweries throughout Europe capitalized on it.
When was this? Yeah, did you say the date? This is like
It was
1700.
mid 18th century was when the
Okay.
one variety that did well with aging that was quite hopped kind of came around. How far back pale ales go, that I don't have at my fingertips.
Okay, so they took. Well, was this the only beer? I wonder if you came across that in your notes. If this was the only beer being transported to India from Britain.
That I do not know because I was just looking at IPAs, not other ones.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that there were some porters at that time, but I'm not sure.
I did read that porters were transported pretty regularly too.
Because what's the
You are
name of
correct.
who's considered like the first guy that brewed IPAs? Like Hodgson or Hodgson.
That I wouldn't know. One of the first breweries to export beer to India, though, was Bow Brewery at
Okay,
the
so-
Middlesex.
Yeah, he's part of Bow Brewing. Hodgson, this guy Hodgson. I read about it when we were doing about Dirt Wolf. I'm trying to pull up my knowledge from that in my head right now. I want to say he got lucky that he put some beers on a ship that were stronger than they were supposed to be. They got transported. People loved them. So then he kind of trademarked the name Hodgson IPA or Hodgson Pale Ale, something like that. Hodgson, Hodgson, Hodgson. And then those kind of became, I guess, what we know today. But I don't know if they still, like, IPAs now still follow the same formula that they did back then, or the same recipe style.
I would say in the essence, but probably not to the bill because things change. We get new grains all the time that you can use, new adjuncts, hops all the time. You can breed new strains. So I would definitely say it's a lot different than what it was, I'd imagine. Oh, and Randall's here.
Freaking Randall. He would. Randall, you there?
Hello.
Randall, this is Randall. This is Teresa. Teresa Randall. Y'all haven't met each other, so
Hello.
he's heard your voice before.
Hello.
In her dream.
This is a little talking triangle.
Hi,
Yeah,
how
isn't
are
that a
you?
creepy little triangle? It just stares at you all night.
It reminds me of Aqua Teen, like Meatball, Meatwad.
Meet what? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I love
Triangle's
Aqua Teen
creepy.
Hunger Force. I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force so
Meatball.
much that I've been making my way through seasons 1 through 7 in the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't know. It's one of those things I watch it every morning as I'm making my morning shake. I just put the iPad with that, so you know. I mean,
Nice.
Is that a euphemism for masturbation?
no, it's Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It's such an offbeat show, and like as if you watch it from the beginning, you could tell that they were kind of hiding, just like Family Guy. There's some jokes that they weren't making, but as they get into the later seasons and they just stop caring, they start making jokes. And it's
So
just
what are
such-
we talking about today?
Oh, sorry. We're not talking. Well, we were talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but today we're talking about IPAs. Are you drinking a beer currently?
Right now I'm currently eating some Japanese cheesecake. It's not what I thought it would be. I'm a little disappointed.
Can you please tell us what Japanese cheesecake is?
I'm not even really sure, frankly. Imagine a regular cheesecake, but a bit more
Fishy?
more bread, less cheese.
Oh,
Hmm.
I see. I expected it to be like rolled up in a sushi roll or something.
No, it's pleasantly mild.
Like the crust is made out of seaweed or something.
No.
See what I'm saying?
Do you have to do
Okay.
kung fu before you eat it too, or something?
No, I probably should because you'll make me fat.
Nectarized seaweed. I was picking out spa packages for my wife because she's getting a native massage, and you had to pick from like seaweed wraps and nectar pedicures, and I don't know. There's all this other stuff. I was just like, I don't know what she wants. Just choose something on that list and give it to her.
Just throw a dart at the board. I'm sure it'll work.
It's like, yeah, I think she likes the cucumbers on her face. I don't know.
Can't
see
go
that.
wrong there. Hot stones, that was cool. I did that.
Yeah,
I've heard that's nice.
Summer's done the hot stone. Well, is it hot stones? No, it's like the little suction plates. I don't know.
That's
After
different,
you
yeah.
keep little suction plates that are hot, and they, because they're hot, so they start sucking out the blood from the acupuncture hole. And
Oh, I heard you guys talking about that. No, that also sounds terrifying.
Oh, fire cupping?
Not into it.
fire cracking. Yeah,
No. Fire cupping.
yeah, fireworking.
Fire twerking.
Randall, do you have a
Fire-
favorite IPA?
Do I have a favorite IPA?
Yes.
Um,
Do you like
Uh,
IPA?
yeah, it's pretty good. It's a nice alternative to, drinking Bud Light.
I would say-
I'd say a lot of things are.
Now, we were talking about the history of IPAs and how they originated the stronger beer being sent from, where is it? Out of Britain. Like, where specifically did it say?
It was the Middlesex Essex border was the first one.
Transported in there from India. That's what we're talking about. That's where you get IPA. And they're generally hoppier and stronger. But what else do we have in our history lesson, Rick? Bring me home. Teach me.
Well, I mean, they just changed over times, but right now, I mean, it's on a huge boom in America. I mean, you can't not find an IPA everywhere you go, and half the time, half the tap list is IPAs. That, and then also, there's now a big competition between West Coast and East Coast styles. Can you say you've had any difference between the twos?
I
Like, have you
cannot.
ever had a East or West Coast and known it?
Is Denver considered West Coast?
Well, I would assume that, but you could be on the East Coast and make a West Coast style.
It will be after global warming is done.
Wait, oh, so is there different styles? Or are we about to get into that?
Well, basically East Coast and West Coast, and like I said, like the one I drank tonight from Florida, it's a West Coast style. West Coast is basically they're usually more straightforward on their malt profile, so more straightforward and a little lighter too, so that way the hops are more dominant. Meanwhile, East Coast is a little bit more heavy on the malt, and then sometimes the East Coast ones are a little bit more citrusy, floral, versus the West Coast being piney, like actual like pine trees.
Yeah, this is definitely more piney.
Is the pine flavor a direct result from a stronger hop flavor versus the malted flavor with an East Coast?
I would say maybe that's part of it, but part of it is just literally what strain of hop you use.
Oh, okay.
There's many, many different strains, and like when I've brewed, even like you can go and you can look at them and they have labels and they mention what kinds of aromas and flavors and how bitter they would be, described into them.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the IPAs I've had generally just taste of hops, and that's about it. I don't know if I've had an East Coast one. Then it only had.
I mean, I've had East Coast ones that are definitely not too malty. It's just, the lines are getting fuzzy at this point, and it's just they're all IPAs, really, in my book.
Okay.
Because the hop profiles alone make two different beers that are pretty similar, completely different.
Right. So that's another good point. Is that like eventually we're gonna keep making recipes for different beers and interchanging different things that we're just gonna have. I mean, you're not gonna be able to call a porter anymore. I think, or a IPA and IPA. It's just gonna be like now a huge category.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Which
race mixing.
I'm up for that, but
yeah, you down for race mixing too? That's cool.
Oh yeah, man, America, melting pot in here. I'm that way with people and beer.
Teresa, are you drinking Sculpin?
Yes, the grapefruit Sculpin. So there's a regular Sculpin IPA. This grapefruit one is a little less hoppy to me.
Okay. Yeah, I see yours. I was trying to look up your IBU level. Does it say it on the bottle?
Not IBU. Got 7%. Oh, I have my notes. I don't have them pulled up.
7%.
That kind of day.
And that is a style of American IPA, and then mine's an American double/Imperial IPA. So, I don't know do you guys know the difference between an Imperial IPA and an American IPA?
No, I just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One's with the Imperial Force.
Do.
Oh, terrific, Rick. There we go. With the development of the American IPA, I'm guessing American IPA is more free because of democracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Well, you can taste the freedom in every glass.
Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful. But when we went over this with stouts, you had, all the different types of stouts, and Imperial Stout was one style, and it was a stronger style of stout. Imperial IPA is no different. It's a bigger, bolder, stronger IPA. Bigger malt profile, so therefore it's more alcoholic, and it's a little bit sweeter to help balance the excessive amount of hops that they end up adding to it.
Perfect. Yeah, this is really good right here. I'm hitting mine's 10%. Yeah. The Hercules is 10% and 85 IBU. So this is extremely bitter. This is not something that I would normally drink to. Now, do you think I'm developing a better palate for craft beer now that I'm able to tolerate this double IPA?
For sure. I can drink a ton of different stuff in the last year that I've never used to even consider picking up.
Yep.
And we just have some really awesome beer snob friends that show us good beer all the time, and
that's what you need.
Yeah. I mean, my husband, he used to not drink IPAs at all, and in the last probably 6 to 8 months, he's been a huge fan. I mean, that's going to be my second beer. Some of the Beer Works IPA, Fire Eagle. But yeah, it's just kind of something you have to develop a palate for.
Yeah, exactly. I still to this day remember the day I liked IPAs. I remember the beer that made me like IPAs. And it's silly, but I remember you had it once, and all of a sudden it was an acquired taste. You had to have it in the right light, and then you liked it.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was Cigar City American IPA. It's called Homefront. It's an IPA brewed on fresh Louisville Slugger maple bats.
What?
Yeah, it's so American. And now it used to be in big bottles. Now they can it, and the proceeds go somewhere. Proceeds go to like probably the veterans or something. Something patriotic.
Veterans or something.
Yeah.
Bald Eagles,
Yeah,
something like that.
Bald Eagle rehabilitation.
Oh man, I went to the batting cage this Saturday, and I think I messed up my knee, but that's another story. Anyways,
It's called
Messed it up
Arnold.
from sitting down the whole time?
no, I was out there, hitting home runs. I need to buy me a bat though, because I don't and a helmet. 'Cause you get those helmets and they smell like Lysol because I mean everybody's using them. So Homefront IPA is 6% ABV, and that has a BA score of 88. Now Teresa's has the highest at a 98. Mine comes in at a 92.
Mhm.
This beer advocate, you know,
Yeah,
as much.
Sculpin is a go-to awesome IPA.
I've learned all my IPA knowledge from my friends. I'm not gonna lie, I'm stealing it from them. But they've never steered us wrong, so.
Yeah, no,
And then-
Sculpin is very good.
Has anybody had the IPA in a can? I think it's from Mission Brewery or something like that.
Oh, it's kind of like a piratey theme, right?
Yeah, like a Conquistador piratey themed one.
Yeah, I have not. I've seen it around, but I've never tried it.
I thought about buying it, but because we're doing this podcast with Miguel, I decided not to.
What? This guy, okay, Randall's been giving me shit all day about, I guess I'm not going to make your podcast, whatever. I'm not going to be there. I'm just like, dude, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. And I don't know if he was just trying to get a rise out of me, just like wanting me to be like, what? You have to be here, blah, blah, blah.
I think it worked, though. You got a rise out of you on live air, man.
There you go.
Mm.
Now I can go drink the beer in my fridge.
Well, actually, Mission IPA has a 66 IBU. That's actually pretty low.
I was leery of it because it's in a can.
Yeah, okay.
You
Got
can't,
to go to
you
work.
can't be too leery of things in cans.
Well,
That's
no, there's
Sculpin's
a-
in a can, right?
There's a good New
Oh,
York
they
beer
do
that's in
sell
a
it in a
can.
can. I have it in a bottle.
Okay.
I'm regretting getting the small bottle instead of the big one. I didn't want to drive to the store that has the big one, and I have other IPAs in my fridge, so.
And there's just specs here that made my wife wait outside because she was pregnant and did not have her ID. Well, I don't know if it was because she was pregnant. It's just because she didn't have her license. But like, you're making her wait outside. She's pregnant. She's not drinking. But
Yeah, that's a
That's the-
Texas tradition.
that's the only place here that has all the good craft beers. So I'm like,
Or
forced.
should I ask if it's a San Angelo tradition to do that?
Gotten kicked out of the liquor store because of that. In San Angelo.
You were saying that the beer turned you off from, and I have to say, you know, that's a big thing for craft beer for me is looking at all the artwork, you know, because I miss CD packages, and now that CDs are gone, we don't have that album art anymore. So now we got craft beer art, and you know,
What?
some of them are very commendable on like how they, you know, their style and how they put things together. But Ballast Point.
Ballast? Ballast?
They
That's how I say it.
I
I
said
don't care
ballast.
for the labeling. Ballasta.
Ballers. Have you guys seen that show? It's a
All
good
of beer.
This is like old Rasputin all over again.
I built a ballistic thing. What are those things that like? It's a ballista, right? Ballistic. Anyways,
No.
doesn't matter.
It's a what?
Yes, can we please hear this again?
I think that's what it's called, a ballista or a ballistic. ballistic ballista.
I
I'm
was
drinking
really
it.
checking that.
I'm sorry.
This is a troll right here. I hope to God.
Okay. You know, I also built a trebuchet when I was in the 10th
You
grade.
say that right. You say that right.
And it's in my backyard still, and it still has the counterweight and everything's the sling needs to be put back together, and we just used a seatbelt from an old car. We put that together and shot off. But besides that, you know,
That's
since we're on this tangent about craft beer art, what are some of the pictures that you like or the artwork that you've liked?
I'll show you.
Personally, for me, I like what is it, like the Baba Dark Ale. They just have a real simplistic style, and even the packaging that it comes in, the Dark Ale, and so they put everything together. It only comes in a can, or I've only found it in a can. So you get 6 cans in the nice little box, and the way it's put together, I'm like, this makes me enjoy the beer more, you know.
I can appreciate that. I like a nice artsy label.
Yeah, what is
No, I totally do too. But I'm more likely to hate on a bad label than to love on a nice label.
True.
I'm super judgmental, and
Yes.
I hate that I am because I've bought beers. I've tried beers in horrible labels and loved them, and gone. I wish I didn't wait this long, but your label was ugly as hell. Did not buy you.
That's my exact point for ballast, the ballast.
The fish
God.
was cute.
God.
They even talked about how like the fish was spiny and it's ugly, but it's actually the best tasting fish, whatever fish they have on there, sculpin fish. Yeah.
I know this. I won't lie. Ballast Point has horrible art because most of their bottles all have fish on them, and that's it, just an ugly fish. And then they have the one cool one with the skeleton dude on it.
Sounds like someone's not a fisherman.
It's not about that.
I don't mind fishing, but I just make better labels. The fish. Why does Dorado equal the one style, and why is Sculpin an IPA? It makes no sense. It's derogatory.
You know,
Derivative. I don't know.
you don't know what kind of esoteric, logical method they have at work there. You know.
No, I don't give a shit. You know what? Fine. Also, screw Orlando Brewing. I'm going.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
On the last podcast, I had to cut out a lot of words that were said about Orlando Brewing.
We don't see eye to eye.
You don't know. Orlando Brewing and maybe the one who makes Sculpin are run by like crazy old prospectors, and they're like, put a fish on the bottle. That'll show them.
Yes, they're really just embracing the whole California coast thing there in San Diego, and I get that. I get it. If you love fishing, cool for you, but otherwise, all those fish, just random as hell, don't really mean anything to me.
It looks random to me, and that's what I was saying. I was going to tell Teresa, but also that like this bottle, I saw it at Specs, and I passed right by. I was like, I don't like that one. And then I saw this one, Hercules. It's not the best labeling, but it's organized. And
I like that one.
So I was like, okay, I appreciate you. It even has like a little Hercules guy in there. I'm just like, okay.
Well, and the Yetis are that way too. All of Great Divide's bottles are kind of nice.
I don't know.
Deep Ellum has some crazy. I picked Deep Ellum here because of the.
Oh, yeah.
Their Deep Ellum Blonde Ale has it's like a bright yellow can with a pink baby doll on it or something, and I picked it up just because of that. And it's actually quite delicious.
Well, I picked up the Sriracha Rogue Stout because it looked like a Sriracha bottle.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Awesome for us.
I've passed by bottles. I've seen those. What was the other one you had? The donut that's in the pink bottle?
Yeah, there's another donut bottle I need to pick up, and I haven't bothered to yet.
My stomach turns when I pass by it in the aisle. I'm just like, ugh. And now it looks like Bismuth to me.
Donut beer?
It's,
Yeah,
forget
it's
what-
like different donuts from Voodoo Donuts in Portland.
something like that.
That's not okay.
Like one was a peanut butter maple bacon, I think.
Mm-mm.
The last one, Randall's was normalish. It was like a lemon chiffon or something.
Yeah, it just tasted like a light lemony lager. A lot of L's in that. My alliteration for the day.
Well, my IPA says that suggested food pairings is beef short ribs, garlically braised greens, Romano aged Gouda, apple tart.
Jeez.
The variety of foods that you can
Yeah. No, I will admit that is one very cool thing about Great Divide as a brewery. Every beer they make has that suggestion. Not that specific suggestion, but they always have a food pairing suggestion on their bottles. I think and just as a customer, I think that's a cool idea.
Yes. I'm going through this phase where I'm trying to use technology less, and yes, it's very easy for me to scan this and just get people suggestions on what to eat it with, but when, just like you said, when it's on the bottle and something I can just like quickly reference, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have that for dinner. Boom.
Yeah. Well, I like it too. It's just from a confidence thing, because that brewery is coming out and saying, we know this is good with this food. Like you will not be surprised and you won't be shocked. Like it's gonna be good. and that confidence is something that goes far with me.
Cool.
Like it shows they're confident in their product, and that's cool.
So, were we done with the history lesson?
That's
yeah,
cool.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't have much on the history on this one. It was pretty straightforward. Politics of the East India Trading Company and whatnot, so I didn't think we wanted to go into that.
Yeah, we do.
East Coast, West Coast brewing styles are gonna get to the point that, or even reach the point as like Tupac and Notorious.
No.
No.
No, I don't know. You'd be shocked. Some people really do defend one style over the other, which again, I think silly. All IPAs have their place. You have good and bad IPAs. What makes them good and bad are different. One style I don't think is better than the other.
Okay, so amongst weirdos, and yes, otherwise no.
You know how it always goes. Someone defends one, and somebody says, "No, my belief is better than yours."
Yeah,
and
it's a perennial Goku versus Vegeta. Who would win?
I'm not
Or
sure.
I don't know,
Us, the
Batman
viewers.
versus Superman. Let me use a non-anime reference.
Okay, good.
Still,
Oh.
us the viewers, we win.
Superman wins all, by the way, because that just makes sense. He's
No, he holds back.
defender of
That's
the world.
and that's what makes him lose.
I mean, Batman's just in charge of Gotham City, and then
Yeah,
Superman
but he's got contingency plans for everybody on the Justice League.
contingency.
He does. Well, I'm not kidding. He does. He has contingency plans for everybody. So if anyone gets out of line, he can take them out.
Yeah, that's funny that you bring that
Batman's
up.
kind of the man.
We're getting ready for a state audit, so we got to make sure all our contingency plans are up to date. We'll be like thinking about it tomorrow. Be like, what would Superman's contingency plan be?
Well, it's kryptonite, duh.
Yeah.
Batman has krypton that he sits on, and when he needs to use it, he'll use it. Batman knows what's up.
We had a buddy over in the UK ask about, is it carboxylic acid? Carboxylic acid?
Yep.
And what I said was that it can result to a cardboard taste if too much of it is added to the beer. You had another opinion about that. I don't know if you, and I didn't mean to bring it up, but you said you wanted to say something.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was fantastic. So.
That was a great interchange. No, I had notes. I have lost them.
You lost your notes on the.
That's it.
I was trying to look up more information about alpha acids and then just my way around that because I want to say that alpha acids seem to be used more with IPAs based on the way that they're trying to target. When you got different things here, but I didn't read enough about it. But it does give it's the source of hop bitterness that you get, and that's a result of from alpha acids. But.
Well, also, so part of what makes hops are how you add them when you're brewing. So I think that's kind of important to take the step back and how do you make these? I mean, you've had bitter IPAs. I mean, she's drinking an IPA which is grapefruity. I mean, granted that's from the grapefruit added to it, but it's also not nearly as bitter, and part of that can be hops. You have piney, citrusy, floral, earthy. You can do a lot. So all of that is because you have obviously different strains of hops, but it's also when do you add it when you're brewing. So when you do the boil and you're boiling your wort down to concentrate your sugars, kind of activate everything up, you can add hops through the different time periods of it. So let's say it's about an hour. When you add it early, it boils for so long it breaks down enough that you get the bitter from it. More in the middle, you get the flavoring, and at the very end, if you just kind of like flash hop it, it's all aroma. Because the idea is you're not really boiling it much. It's least decomposition, most just the aroma that'll stick around. That's the sensitive compound. So that's how you can get all these different types of IPAs. Besides changing the hops, changing how you add them. You can use the same hop, but based on when you add it, you're going to get completely different flavor profiles.
That adds to like the fascination for me about craft beers. It's just like alternate a few minutes in your technique and get a different flavor altogether.
When are you going to make craft beer?
Craft beer? I mean, I can make craft beer any day, bro.
All right, well, get to it.
I don't know. Whenever you go into the home brewing business, I'll jump in as well, because
No, I'm.
that's what I am. I'm a bandwagon home brewer.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
much
like that.
different. I am too.
Have you guys ever heard of America on Tap? It's like a beer festival.
Hmm I have.
Mm,
Have you attended?
No. I've not gone to any of the major ones.
This
Una
beer
Fude
tastes like
and
bacon.
Tampa Bay. I've been to.
Teresa, does it go to Austin? I don't know if it.
I'm not sure I've heard of that one. They did a craft beer festival here. Maybe this might be the third year they're doing it, but I've heard that at least the first year was horribly unorganized and it was hot and tickets were expensive and they just didn't have their stuff together.
Oh, no.
So I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I don't know if they're coming through here or not.
Rick had a horrible experience at a beer festival.
Yes, I did. Una Fude 2014. We don't talk about it. People died.
Well, America on Tap coming here to Corpus Christi, and I think it's $35, which is $35 a lot for a beer festival. I get 8
No,
samples.
that's not bad at all. Well,
think
okay,
I-
it depends. What do you get?
How many drinks do you get?
We get 8 samples, and they're like the little 5-ounce.
Probably 4 ounce. Yeah.
Or
That's not horrible. I mean, it depends. Is it stuff you can get at the supermarket that you don't really care to try?
Some of them are.
Coors.
There's a
Natty
there's
Light.
you have your mainstream, and then you're gonna have your like kind of not so mainstream craft beers.
Oh,
And,
duels, yes.
yeah,
no, sir.
funny thing about duels, and I'm gonna go off on this tangent real quick. Is somebody asked me if I was gonna be serving that at my wedding because they couldn't be drinking the non-alcoholic duels because they're whoever was coming out of being an alcoholic, and so that's kind of like his thing. I was just like, yeah, I'm not. And it was going to cost like an additional $300 for them to carry a duels and something like that. It's like the expanded package that you get with the
Yeah.
bartender. I'm not gonna pay for non-alcoholic beer. I'm sorry. You
Tell
can
them to
have,
just drink a soda.
Just not drink.
there's soda. There's soda
Just
there.
drink water.
Or water.
I looked at
Juice.
that on tap thing and it's going to San Angelo. What?
America on Tap is going to San Angelo as well. And I read that, but there's going to be less vendors. So my friend was asking me if I wanted to go here in Corpus Christi or in San Angelo. I was like, well, either one. Because I think it's going to San Angelo in October.
Yeah, it says October 3rd.
It's going to
Yeah.
be here later this month in Corpus Christi. Like on the
Well, I feel
14th.
silly because it was apparently this last weekend, and I missed it in Jacksonville.
Dang, man.
Oh,
man, I
boy.
dropped the ball on that one. I
I
fail.
gotta go get another beer. I'm empty.
Well, you didn't want to have more trauma, so it's probably for the best. I'm
I
drinking
tried to
right
get-
now. Good drink.
Oh, the San Francisco Flying Cloud Stout. That is a really good beer.
Go on.
When I poured it out, it looked like motor oil. Ridiculous.
Damn, that's love me a good stout. So
and then when you drink it, it tasted like motor oil.
No, I stared into it and it saw my soul. Weird.
no, I was gonna say, wait, what? Into your soul?
Did you apply it to your joints in order to loosen them up?
I poured it into my sniffer and just looked into it and I was just like, oh, that's my soul.
It's Miguel's WD-40.
You need to get like one of those little cans from the Wizard of Oz. Do you know? Every time you rust up.
Yeah, especially while you're at work.
It's okay, boss. I'm rusty. I need this.
Uh-oh, I'm having a hard time typing up this report. I better pull out the good old trusty oil can.
And then what would my contingency plan be for that when the state shows up to audit? I'm just like,
Gotta sell it, man. Pretend to be rusty.
I gotta go run it.
Lock it up.
Just say, hey, if you guys are going to flout the law, I'm going to flout the law too.
Dude.
Topical.
No. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, San Francisco Flying Cloud Imperial Stout was very delicious. I recommend that. HEB Plus is making an effort to bring all kinds of beers here, craft beers. Yeah, that's
That's the closest thing to a central market you're going to get in Corpus?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Aw.
Hey, didn't you tell me you were drinking like an Asahi Black or something like that a while back?
I went to Takanawa Hibachi Grill. Takanawa.
Hi.
Hey. What do you say, Love? My wife has bees on her hand because she says she's getting carpal tunnel from the pregnancy, but that's a side note. Anyways,
Anyways, back to drinking.
Sapporo was the other
Hashtag
Japanese.
baby update.
Sapporo was a Japanese beer I drank, and then the one that you just said, Randall, which I don't know if
The
it's
Asahi
Japanese.
Black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I had Asahi and then Asahi Black. And,
Yeah.
It's good. It just kind of seemed like baseline beers
Beer.
for me.
Yeah, no, I mean it's there's nothing really. I mean, Asahi and Sapporo are pretty good. Like if you're out having dinner somewhere, and especially if it's like barbecue,
Yeah.
they're good complements to that. And Black is just further continuation of that. But something to truly enjoy on its own, no, I don't think so.
I did enjoy the Black more than just the regular or whatever you want to call it.
The Black is like their award-winning one or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It was decent. I mean, it didn't
beer.
stand out, like flavorful or anything. It was just base black beer.
It's no
Black.
Sriracha Stout.
But I did order them at the same time, and the waiter looked at me kind of weird. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like, well, I want to
It's too
compare the
funny.
real quick.
But I've done that too. Like I've ordered two beers so many different times, especially when you like the two completely different styles. Like maybe one's a stout, so you don't mind it sitting out. Get the IPA beforehand, you drink that cold, let the other one warm up, and then you enjoy it. So I've done that too, but yeah, it's always kind of weird. Let me
It is
double
so
fist.
bizarre. When you make that suggestion the first time on for stouts to warm them up, I let one of those San Francisco Imperial stouts warm up while I was drinking the other one, and yeah, that second one was a little bit more delicious.
Well, it kind of depends. Like for an oatmeal stout or something, you don't really want to do that.
Mhm.
You only want to do it with the
Yeah.
bigger ones, the Imperials, the barrel-aged ones. Those warm up nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it with that peanut butter stout I had a while back. That was
Oh.
just perfect chilled.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
feel like
really
the
good.
peanut butter would fall in line with an oatmeal stout, though. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
That Warlock is probably my favorite beer, and it's definitely better warmed up.
hmm That
So.
is a. I'm not the biggest Southern Tier fan, but Warlock is awesome.
That's I
They did a
think we
very
have
good
one
job
more
with that.
bottle in our fridge and a pumpkin too. So
What's that? Steampunk? Is that a thing? Steampunk?
steampunk's the thing.
It is quite a thing.
I was watching Bar Rescue, and they were trying to redo the bar like that. I was like, oh.
Oh, that's the one in Austin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in Austin. Nice.
Yeah. That place is closed now.
That's what
Okay.
it said on there, that it closed X
Yeah.
amount of years later or whatever.
The end.
Wah, wah.
This past weekend, actually it was last weekend, but our show's bi-weekly, so. But anyways, I found out that Corpus Christi had a local brewery, and I went and got a glass from them, and I also ordered a flight so I could check them out. I need to go back because they were out of their Scottish ale, but the brewery is called Lazy Beach Brewery, and I was excited because there's not any local breweries here for me to go and chill out. Just like when I went to Austin, I hit up like 3 or 4 breweries. And then, you can just do that because you're in Austin and there's a brewery like on every corner. Then over here in Corpus, it's like there's a one, but it was good, decent. I did enjoy their what did they call it? It's their stout, their version of a stout, and it was good. I was a little hesitant because of the water quality here, but no. And someone corrected me about the water quality not being that big of a factor. It definitely affects how you're brewing, but there's ways to, he said, cut the minerals. And this is when I was out Ubering this past weekend, and I picked up this guy at this bar called Tapology, which I found out about. He says, yeah, they got like 30 craft beers on tap. I was like, oh, fantastic. Where's this place been? picked him up, and then we started talking about home brewing, and he's gonna attempt to do a lager here. I'm sorry, not a lager. Said it required climate control, the type that he was doing. Which one was that?
Ale.
Some type of ale. Some
Yeah.
type of ale.
Some sort of
any
beer.
of the ales.
Yeah, well, he said it was that he's tried all the other, he's attempted all the other ones and succeeded, except this one. Now he's got a climate-controlled chamber that's, that type of style of beer requires.
Probably a lager. Unless there's
Okay.
a few ales that don't.
Lager's
require
what came to mind at first, and I'll go back and check what he said. 'Cause I secretly do Uber rents, but anyways, doesn't matter. Now, Teresa, you went and got when I was down there in Austin, you were visiting another brewery. What was the name of that one? I'm trying to remember.
So we go to Austin Beer Works every Thursday. I have a buddy that works there. That's actually what I'm drinking now. Austin Beer Works Fire Eagle. It's one of their core 4 beers, but it's IPA. So we go there every Thursday. And I also went down to Craft Pride, which is a bar down on Rainy Street. And they have, I don't know how many craft beers. They have local stuff and they have stuff from far away. I think they had a donut beer. I don't know if it's the one that y'all are talking about. But there was a donut on the tap. And I was like, did you do this for donut day? Or is this real? But yeah, we went there to check out last summer I was in Alpine and they have a Big Bend Brewery, which is fairly new. I want to say they're only about 2.5 years old. So they finally are here in Austin. So we went to go check that out.
There's a brewery on every corner over there. I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, there's one literally across the street from Beer Works. I've never been there. It's Adelbear. I'm not sure. Got a guy with a beard and glasses, very Austin-y. I almost picked up one of their beers.
That's what I'm starting to enjoy about moving, or when we go to Austin and travel over there. I'm like, man, let's go hit up a brewery this weekend. Like, it's just so easy to do. I hit up Blue Bonnet Brewery when I was down there. They said that it had only been there for about 2 years, and it was decent. You know, it's getting to a point where there's so many flavors now. I don't know if you have the same problem, and I don't know if other people developed this, but at first when we started trying craft beers, or I started trying craft beers, I was able to differentiate between, for me, different flavors of this stuff. Now it's just becoming a thing where I'm like, this is good, this is bad. I don't know what, like, my lines are starting to get blurred.
I mean, I feel like y'all are way more advanced than I am, but I'm just like, I like this. Do not like this. And that's kind of how I judge beer. And then, you know, I learn more about it after the fact. And I'm like, okay, well, I like these things. Maybe I'll try these kinds of beers and these kinds of stouts. And that's kind of how I've gone about it.
I'm just here for entertainment.
Rick, do you feel like the lines are
Here with
getting
us
blurred
for
for you
afternoon.
as you try more beers?
I would say yeah, probably because like I spent so much time focusing on it, and when I really want to focus on it, I can. But sometimes it's just nice just to drink the beer and not think about it.
There's something
And that
to
kind of
that.
helps
Yeah.
blur the lines. And I think you end up overthinking it sometimes, so it's just more fun just to drink that beer and not think about it.
Yeah, like I said, with the double IPAs and even IPAs in general, my palate's developed, and now I'm able to drink a lot more of these. And I don't know if that's a good
Well,
bad
your
thing.
palate can also get fatigued, and at a certain point, you might wake up one day, pop open an IPA, and go, "Wow, I don't like this right now." And
I hate
just
beer.
'cause your body's just over it for a time period. You know, you just overload your palate to a certain degree, and you just don't like it anymore. It just doesn't. Wait a few months, next thing you know, you like it again.
If I'm drinking an IPA right when I wake up, I got
You're having a good day right there.
Oil can theory.
rally.
No,
Here
in
we-
reality, you have a coffee stout when you wake up. Duh.
That
Oh,
seems logical. I can get behind that.
I've done it, and it's fantastic.
Coffee stout, would that be, I guess, what are those other, it starts with an M, Mas.
Mocha?
Is Mas?
What are those drinks you have? You're trying on the wedding.
Mimosa?
There you go, that one. I heard it.
Mimosa
Mimosa
is
is
my
like
jam.
the literal opposite of a coffee stout. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because, like, I've heard of people having mimosas for breakfast.
Heck yeah. Breakfast of champions.
So, like, this is, that's champagne. This is beer. Yeah, I would have a coffee stout.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. That's like what I do every Christmas and Thanksgiving morning now.
I thought you were gonna say every morning. Every morning.
No. I wish.
Help me.
Nope. I I made those 2 days go down as, if there are gonna be days I just sit around watching movies and shit, I'm gonna start my day off with a coffee stout. So.
Like that guy.
That's awesome. Do y'all find you drink different beers like seasonally? Because I'll drink a stout right now, but I'm not looking for one. Like we cracked open a Warlock the other day and it was good, but I'd rather drink a light beer right now. But like in the winter, all I want is stouts.
We don't have seasons here.
Well, no, I like that too. I find myself wanting to drink lighter beers, especially because of the summer. And I don't know if it's because I'm hearing the word summer a lot. I'm just wanting summer ale, summer beers, stuff like that. Refreshing. Whenever I hear that word refreshing, or I read it on the label, I'm just like, oh, this is what I want. I think there's some like ad campaigns going on against my brainwave.
It is more refreshing to have a nice pale ale or a lager or a pilsner or just something refreshing in the summer. I mean, like she said, I'm in the same boat. I could drink a stout right now and I will, but I'll hit up 3-4 IPAs before I get to a stout. Whereas in the winter, sometimes if I go out drinking, I start straight with the stout.
Oh yeah.
So, but then again, I'm kind of in the Randall territory of there's not really too many seasons. It's like summer and then not summer. So, not really much of a winter.
You still have one more than we do. So.
Nice. I was reading, I came across a list of, is my beer ruined? And it has a list of different compounds and explanations to why your beer might be ruined or not. So I'm going to just kind of read and we can discuss some of this stuff. So there's common off flavors. There are many flavors that contribute to the overall character of beer. Some of these flavors have been previously described as malty, fruity, or bitter. When it comes to time to figure out why a beer tastes bad, though, we need to get more... Okay. I just realized that was an intro, so my apologies. Acetaldehyde, a flavor of green apples or freshly cut pumpkin. It is an intermediate compound in the formation of alcohol. So some yeast strains can produce more than others, but generally in its presence it indicates that the beer is too young and needs more time to condition. So I don't know, Teresa, have you guys ever homebrewed? I don't know if I've ever asked or if y'all...
No, we haven't. Because we're in an apartment, and, I mean, we have a garage downstairs, but don't really want to venture in that. I've had one homebrew that a friend did, and I was quite surprised. It was really good. But he hasn't done any in a while.
Now, Rick, in your bottle openings or anything like that, have you ever came across a beer that was opened up too soon?
What do you mean by too soon necessarily? Like,
well, and I'm not a homebrewer, that's what I'm saying, but this beer is too young or needs more time to condition, which I'm assuming means it's opened before it's you've allowed the yeast to fully...
Yeah, I mean, the only examples I'd say of those would be, like, barrel-aged beers, because sometimes, you bottle the barrel-aged beer and you sell it, you get it, you can either open it fresh or sit on it, and, I mean, there's been ones I've opened fresh, and they're kind of hot, it's a lot more alcohol than you expect, and it's not very mellow and smooth and integrated yet. And then those are the kinds of beers, generally if you sit on, all that meshes itself out, and then you open it like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 years later, and now not so hot, flavor's more mellow, everything's a little smoother and just melds better together.
I don't know if I've ever tasted acetaldehyde where it has like a green apple taste. I'm trying to relate to that in my mind, but if nothing else, it's a good note.
I can't think of it. The only time I've had green apple is when it's like something aged in apple brandy barrels, which is awesome.
Let's see. Next one on here says astringent. Astringency differs from bitterness by having a puckering quality, like sucking on a tea bag. It is dry, kind of powdery.
Oh. I just saw a critter on my floor. Hold on.
Critter? Kill it. What kind of critter?
She saw a critter? Who says that?
Cockroach?
I don't know what it is.
What's the classification of this critter?
I think it's a roach. I don't know.
Live stream the killing.
The two scientists would like to know the genus and species.
Could you send samples to us, please?
I love that y'all are scientists and like this, but nope.
I am not a
It might
scientist.
be off the ground.
FYI.
Well, yeah.
I am, but I hate bugs. I was lying.
Go ahead. Astringency.
I mean, when we see a cockroach around the apartment, I make an effort to like look at it. Laura hates it, and she starts screaming like she's on fire. And two different reactions that occur here in the household.
This is like the third one I've ever seen here in like 5 years.
Time to move.
If I,
Yeah, we're done.
I mean, it happens. People happen. Okay. What was I talking about? Astringent.
Astringency.
Yeah,
Astringency.
man. Pass backward. Get it together.
On a tea bag. It's kind of powdery and often the result of sleeping grains. Steeping grains too long. And when you steep the grains too long, and when the pH of the mash exceeds a range of 5.2 to 5.6, so that kind of gets into the specifics of mash. Now, when you homebrewed, Rick, did you ever measure the mash pH? Is that
No. Nope. I wanted to do the mash method just because it's the more real method. You know, it's the more authentic way of doing it, using grains instead of just using some kind of malt extract. But no, I never tested pH or gravity or nothing. Nothing.
Has
Okay.
anybody? Well, I got a question. Has anybody come up with a unique method of mashing called the Monster Mash?
Okay. So Rick, we're saying there's a difference. Okay, I'm trying to understand this more because you have your malt extract and then you have flavoring done by just malt mashing, right? Essentially.
Yes. Because the whole idea is grains have, when you have grains and you grind, break them open, you can extract the sugars and enzymes directly from them.
Now, is there any way to readily know if your beer has undergone one method in comparison to the other?
Not that I really know of. I mean, I'm pretty minimal with my home brewing, and my buddy has done extract before while I've done all grain, and I haven't been able to tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you get really good, you can do things with grains that you can't do with the extract, dealing with times and temps based flavors you're extracting, but
Whoa.
that was epic.
No, I hear echo.
What happened, Teresa? Did you unplug yourself?
I did. I plugged myself back in. I'm
That's
sorry.
we're hearing the reverb.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
The critter did it, didn't it?
Whoa.
It was the critter.
Whoa.
Did you plug yourself back in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Critter.
Oh.
Sounds like it's
Flipping
correct.
critter.
All right. So, astringency.
Put that critter on Twitter.
I don't know what astringency directly means. I'm trying to picture myself sucking on a tea bag. No, that didn't sound right. Never mind.
Why don't you get a tea bag and suck on it then, and we can see.
Whoa, this is getting kind of sexual.
Oversparingly or oversparingine. I don't know this word.
Okay, come on. Let's sound it out, buddy.
We're using water that is too hot or our common
Starch.
causes of exceeding the we're skipping astringency. Let's go move on to cidery. Cidery flavors can have severe
How about strategery?
okay. Then for cidery. Several causes, but are often the result of adding too much cane or corn sugar to a recipe. So, you add too much sugar. One component of cidery flavor is acetaldehyde, which kind of makes sense because acetaldehyde would be an indication of the green apple character. It is a common fermentation byproduct, and different yeasts will produce different levels of it depending on the recipe and the temperature. Cidery flavors are encouraged by warmer than normal temperatures and can be decreased by lagering. When I read this, now it becomes more apparent that lagering is temperature dependent based off of warm temperatures and normal temperatures can affect the cidery flavors that you have in your beer.
That is very true.
Now in this, if it is caused by acetobacteria, then there is nothing to be done about it. Keep the fruit flies away from the fermenter next time. Boom.
There you got it. Boom.
Dude, I'm learning a lot about... Now we run into...
You just saved brewing. I mean, you found the answer.
You are the guy.
So diacetyl is often described as a butter or butterscotch flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So an unwrapped bag of butter-flavored microwave popcorn for a good example. Oh, thank you, computer. It is desired to a degree in many ales, but in some styles, mainly lagers and circumstances, it is unwanted and may even have a rancid overtones. So if they put rancid overtones in there, it's a form of too much diacetyl. A brew that experiences a long lag time due to weak yeast or insufficient aeration will produce a lot of diacetyl before the main fermentation begins. So this is starting to get to some other stuff. Have you ever tasted a bad beer?
Yes.
Now, is that a result of it being just bad flavoring, or it was brewed like it got contaminated?
It was a result of me going to Orlando Brewing.
Oh.
Okay, no, but seriously.
And that's what we call a tag back.
Boom.
Full circle.
No, actually, there's a brewery called Phantom. They a lot of times have like a little spooky ghost dude on their bottles, and they're an imported beer, kind of like Mikkeller or something. And I don't know what it is about their styles. I've had one or two that were, farmhouses and different things like that, and it hit the nail on the head. But so many more times than not, it tasted like Band-Aids.
Ugh.
That is
No.
disgusting. And you know what's funny? I read, my friend prepped me once going into it. He goes, okay, these are known. It's kind of a coin flip at this brewery. It's sometimes great. Other times it tastes like Band-Aids. Because I know it sounds weird to say that very specific flavor, but that's what it tastes like.
Medicinal. These flavors are often described as Band-Aid-like.
Did he tell you that before you described it? Do you think it was in your head? You're like, this kind of does taste like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, he told me beforehand, and that could have totally influenced me, but I've bought it a couple more times, and I know, again, in my head I had that, and it just killed the beer for me. And that's happened in the past. I once read for a beer, I won't say what it was, someone said it tasted like soy sauce. I opened 2 different bottles of it, and they both tasted like soy sauce to me.
Oh boy.
Had the beer that had this year's beer of it, and it was great.
Might just be people influencing your taste.
You might just be easily influenced.
I guess.
Can I sell you a bridge to nowhere?
Hashtag.
Although I can kind of concur in that assessment, because there is one beer that I've had that I was really excited to drink beforehand because I never tried it before, and I didn't have any impressions of it when I went into it. But then when I drank it, it was like I drank a week's worth of smoking cigarettes.
Nice.
That's super ashy and smoky.
I want to backtrack to the Band-Aid. The cause are various phenols which are initially produced by the yeast. Chlorophenols result from the reaction of chlorine-based sanitizers, bleach, you see how I did the parentheses with my hands, bleach, with phenol compounds, and have very low taste thresholds. Rinsing with boiled water after sanitizing is the best way to prevent these flavors. I don't know.
So the
There
Band-Aid
we go,
thing
Phantom.
happens to like more than one beer? You're saying this is like a thing?
Yeah, if you go onto Beer Advocate and look up Phantom, you will find many, many reviews that say Band-Aid for any of their beers. It's crazy.
I'm gonna write that down as a beer to not try. That's disgusting.
I mean, I would say try it only because the beer I had that was good was good.
Is it like affecting all beers, or is it some batch? Because like I have a friend that works at a brewery, and he's drinking that beer every day, so he can tell from batch to batch, hey, this one is too hoppy, or this one whatever. He can get into specifics about it, and he knows exactly what's wrong with that batch, or if it's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know part of the problem is it's imported, so they literally are shipping it over here across the ocean. So that could definitely play a factor. I mean, that's a variable in
You
the
know,
equation.
that's a good point when it comes to flavors of beers. Is the palate and then your genetic makeup. All of that plays in part to like what you taste. I mean, what you taste as Band-Aid might be similar to somebody else, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Like cilantro and the soap thing. Have you read that? I've heard multiple people tell me that it tastes like soap, and I've never.
It's a genetic default. They like the gene.
I just read the thing on like the I Love Science page or whatever. I was like, oh, that's why multiple people have told me that.
But you love cilantro, right?
I do love cilantro.
So you're
It's
like,
in my
these people
genes.
need to be rounded up and put into camps. Right?
I mean,
We'll call them sopists.
Hashtag love wins. You're describing a beer that tastes like soy sauce, and I came across Autolyzed. Autolyzed. If your beer smells meaty or like soy sauce or Marmite, this is most likely a result of the death and decomposition of yeast cells in the bottle.
Wah, wah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like, this is likely because you're drinking a bottle of soy sauce.
It's most likely. Check the
you
label.
make the Racha beer and pick up the soy sauce beer.
Oh yeah, unless it's a soy sauce beer, I mean that's kind of like their intention. So in small amounts, it can add a certain complexity to higher alcohol beers. In large amounts, it can make you feel like you're drinking a glass of soy sauce. So, I mean, there you go.
That's not fun.
Man, I like this. I like this root analysis to what you guys are tasting.
So what's the
Root
root analysis for? Because I've had this has happened to me twice with two different beers. The Big Ben Brewery, I had it out there on tap at restaurants, and then I had it from the brewery. And from the brewery, it was the best. The restaurants were the second best. I took home a 6-pack from the store. It was awful. But I just don't think, because they had just started canning beer, and the 512 Pecan Porter, they have a whiskey or double whiskey barrel aged that they do every year. We had like a 2013, and it was awful. It just wasn't carbonated well. And then the 2014 was amazing.
Huh. I tell you the truth, I tried that 512 pecan. The pecan ale? Is that what it is?
Pecan Porter. Yeah, you said you didn't like it. Broke my heart.
I know. I'm
Miguel.
sorry. I tried on that. Now, how do you say pecan? Because my buddy Tristan in the UK was saying I fucked it up. He's saying like he spelt it P-I-K-O-N. He's like, why do you keep saying pecan?
The pecan.
It's like, no, I'm saying pecan. Pecan. Pecan.
Why don't you get some of that pecan pie?
that's
Well.
See, I say pecan, but people from up north say pecan.
I thought that was like a carrot. Is that like South?
Yeah, I thought pecan was a southerner thing.
Yeah, I thought that was
Or it's like the north of South.
South Carolina.
I don't know. My bearings are off ever since I got, hit by that goat in the head.
A goat?
I got it. So,
It's kind of
this beer-
awkward. Miguel, what are you doing in your free time?
It's a great show, everybody.
I hate commercials that are using that screaming goat, by the way. Let me see.
What TV are you watching?
I don't know.
One in my head.
So, okay, so I'm reading on this. It says skunky. This is the probable cause of this is beer is that it's bottled wrong. It has faulty in it being bottled. Have you ever drank Newcastle?
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty skunky. At first, I thought it was I don't know how to. I haven't tasted a beer, I guess, that was bottled wrong in comparison to one that's just designed to smell, or the way it's made makes it smell skunky. Because for me,
I feel like Heineken's skunky and
Yes.
Corona.
Yeah, Heineken can be pretty skunky.
Skunky.
Yeah.
It is. Heineken has been one of the skunkiest beers I've had.
It's
To the point where I feel like they're embracing it and they want to be that way.
they're just like this is
Skunk
it.
again.
now outside of this, well, besides Rick, your experiences, but has anyone else just tasted a beer and knew that it had been contaminated at some point during the process? I guess besides the pecan/pecan.
Wait, what was it?
I guess
What was the
I guess I
question
haven't
again?
tried enough homebrews to run into a beer that was contaminated or
You've
bottled.
never bought a bottle of it and had that happen?
No, so I'm like, I don't know. That's
I
never
mean,
really.
so Intuition Brewery, what I just had tonight. This past year, they did their bottle release of Underdark, oak barrel aged imperial stout. Had it fresh, delicious. Have my bottles sitting in the closet. A few months go by, and they released a statement actually doing a full recall of this year's bottles because they were apparently infected with lactobacillus.
Ew.
Oh,
I go to open my next one. It kind of gushed a little bit. There was enough. It was a lot of carbonation. Pouring it, you think a barrel aged stout, it's not going to have a lot of carbonation, tiny in the glass, but this had tons. It gushed a little bit, and then multiple friends of mine have opened theirs, and again, gushers with all of them. So they actually had some kind of infection, and it hit a lot of bottles.
gross.
So you drank it, right?
Oh, of course I did. But I traded.
Okay.
I took my other bottles in and got the refund.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I've had sour stouts that are great, but the one I had one. Like I said, it gushed a little bit. It was very carbonated. And it was definitely tart. I just didn't think it was going to be good. Again, you can get very vinegary or soy saucy, and I felt like it was going to start leaning towards vinegary from that infection.
Have you had the Duchess de Bourgogne?
No,
That's a pretty good sour beer.
I mean, I like sour beers when it's intentionally sour, but infected is different.
All right.
I was looking it up because I wanted to see what does lactobacillus feed on within a beer.
The soul of children.
It's lactobacillus
You say the
which-
soul of children?
No, I said sugar.
You sure did, buddy.
I
That's why-
either lay off the beer, or I'm not sure.
Why is lactobacillus considered the most common beer spoilage bacteria?
That's why this show gets better, because we get more and more drunk as we do it, and it just turns into a jibber jabber mess.
I did stand up to get my second beer, and I was like, whoa, guys.
Drink it? Let me see.
Well, to answer Miguel's question, that I don't know. I don't know if it's an environment thing, pH. I honestly am not sure why. I just know lactobacillus is a common one. Although I will say part of it could be the fact that when some people do intentionally make sour beers, they use lactobacillus when they do it. So if you're doing that and then you have poor sanitation techniques after the fact, your next
Yeah.
beer's contaminated.
It didn't say the genus of the bacteria, did it?
I just know lactobacillus. I'm not. I mean, there might be some
It says-
specific species, but
So, Lactobacillus brevis, sorry, is a species of lactic acid bacteria. So that alone tells you. So it would feed on those different acids in there. Let me see. All of which are gram-positive, non-spore fermenting organisms. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I don't care about this. The significance of all lactic acid bacteria throughout history, up until today, is their metabolism, which is used for the preservation of foods and beverages. So I don't know if we're adding it, if it's being added to beer to help preserve it, and maybe you actually contaminate it in that way. Here we go. In fact, in Germany, at one point, more than half of beer spoilage incidents were due to lactobacillus alone. Okay, so it goes into, along with other lacto acid producing bacteria, L. brevis plays an integral role in the fermentation of certain foods, such as, sauerkraut. That's a weird word, sauerkraut.
Nobody likes sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Sauerkraut and pickles, and is likewise the most common cause of spoiled beer. So, doesn't really say what it's feeding on. I'm more curious about why that bacteria, and I guess just because it's more prevalent whenever beer's being, I guess, more prevalent in food.
true. And like I said, sometimes it's just unintentional. The brewery makes a sour, and now they introduce lactobacillus into their system, and if you don't fully eliminate it, it persists. And I know breweries have had issues with that, where they make a sour and then another batch down the line gets completely infected just because they didn't, properly sanitize in between batches.
Okay. Yeah. So mainly found in food, but also it accommodates production of sour food. So environmentally, it can be found in dairy farms, in raw milk. So what goes into a sour? What distincts a sour from something? Just the fact that it's sour, but what's making it sour?
The yeast, it's what you're using to ferment it with. Brettanomyces is one. That's a big one. It's generally more for the funk side than the sour side, but it's definitely one that's included in that scheme of sours. And lactobacillus is another one that's often added to make it sour. Cascade Brewing in Portland, Oregon, are big on the lactobacillus because theirs are very much lactic acid bombs. They're very tart and puckering and sour in that aspect, and not on the funky side.
Okay. So yeah, it seems prevalent in our environment. It's also part of our the microflora, like the natural microflora within our intestines. So would be another thing. What if someone had like gone to the bathroom, didn't wash their hands, and was just like messing with it? Infected.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like, man, that's like my worst nightmare at work, dude. You don't need to bring that here.
Let's see. Well, L. brevis. The L. brevis is hop resistant, a compound that causes beer spoilage. Oh, that's all it says. I thought it was going to tell me something more about its like genetic makeup or something here. The strain of bacteria is easy to study, research, blah 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 blah. That's just gross. So, interesting. It shows up a lot whenever you pull up like proteomic approach to the characterization of hop-inducible proteins in Lactobacillus brevis. So there's a reason it gets used for the preservation of beer, but it looks like it can also be done overused to a point that it starts spoiling the beer.
Very true.
All right.
Indubitably.
That was just my tangent on that. So, well, guys, this has been a great little beer rant, Beer Me 3. I enjoyed having Teresa on, and Randall, thank you for joining late.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for joining late.
Yeah, no, I'll be later next time, don't worry.
Seaweed cheesecake or whatever you're eating, cheesecake.
Now I'm
wrap.
drinking, or I was drinking a Chipotle ale.
What? When are we talking about that?
Wait,
What is Chipotle?
Well, you guys were busy talking about your diseases and your infections and your fermentations, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Who is this Chipotle ale from?
wait, what did you say, Miguel? What kind of ale? Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Kai bottle.
Is this from Rogue?
It is.
Oh, Rogue.
Randall, see,
Randall
we can't
the
make
Rogue.
fun of me doing the Orlando Brewing stuff because we make just as much fun of Rogue.
Yeah, but I'm drinking their beers, okay? You're just a hater. So,
Alright, well, you got me on that one.
yeah, that's right.
It looks like Chipotle Ale was dedicated to Spanish author Juan de la Cueva, who in 1575 wrote a Mexican dish that combined seedless chipotles with L's. Is that how you say it? Chipotles? Chipotles?
Chipotle?
Chipotle?
Yeah, fair. But she-
What's the plural of chipotle?
Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Yeah, so he laid some chipotles with L, and then you got that. So this L is a amber in color with a rich malty aroma and is delicately spiced with.
Are you reading the regular one or the one for the farms?
I don't know. This is the one.
Rogue Farms.
Oh,
Fancy you with the farm one.
I just saw it at this little like niche liquor and beer store here, and I figured, oh, why not? Because I wasn't really sure what to get, and I forgot what the topic was going to be for this week.
Jesus. Like complex topic or something. It was just like IPAs. That's what we're talking about, Randall. He's like, okay.
Good
Well,
job,
I
Russell.
asked
Messed
you
up.
while I was there, and I didn't get an answer because you were busy. I don't know, humping goats or whatever you do.
You know, Randall, sometimes you text me and I don't text you right away because you're texting me constantly.
I need an answer now. Okay, this is very important. It's for the show. All right.
No, sometimes you go on these tangents where you're just messaging me like just lyrics to a song, and I just ignore it. because I know it's not like anything that requires my response. And then this happens. You see? It's like the boy cried wolf situation.
Look, look. I know you got problems. Okay, I know you got a strange situation where you're at right now. And I don't judge. I try to be the better person about this. I want to help you, but
It's like
you're going crazy. So
available only in the spring, and it's established in 1988. Has Rogue been along that long?
I guess.
Not really.
I mean,
I
they've
also
been around a
enjoy
bit of
their
time.
lead.
Well, the
Oh.
reviews are good. It just says great with steak, not with Japanese cheesecake. But
Nope.
if you look at the one that's on here, it is combined. What is it? Japanese something. Oh, Japanese pepper. Get a little extra bite. Is it spicy, Randall?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a spice to it. Spicy kick.
That's the jalapeno peppers, my friend.
It's no sriracha though. That's for sure.
Mouthful of
Why?
fiery goodness.
Also, sorry, I'm eating dinner. Along with this,
It's like
Maybe
this long
cheesecake
pause.
first, then dinner? What?
yeah, I also enjoyed their mead, which is I think a relatively recent thing they started to make. It's pretty nice. It was light. It was like if you could have a champagne of beer, and not in the Miller High Life sense.
Aw.
I've
Everyone
had a
loves Miller
champagne.
High Life.
I'm rich.
Rogue L. Because of your review, I just passed by the Rogue section. I saw it. I was like, meh.
Okay, so I don't want to poop on anybody but Orlando Brewing. But I will say with Rogue, their crazy stuff is not the greatest, but their base stuff is good. Like the chocolate and mocha, they are generally good stouts.
The double chocolate
highly
stout is delicious. That's a very good beer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can highly recommend that, and the mocha too. Both are very solid. With those, Rogue kicks butt.
I was looking at your Instagram, Mr. Rant, and because you said I can't use your name on here, and I saw that you're in that section with the IPAs and everything, and closer to the bottom you have it's a Rogue bottle. It's white. It's the Morimoto, like Imperial Ale or something like that. I would recommend that. That's a really good beer.
I did see that, but because it said Rogue, I was like, fuck this. Walked off.
Well, it's got Morimoto, the Iron Chef guy's name on it, so it's got to be decent.
All right. I'll pick that up
Behind that logic.
and try it out. That one looks good.
When you get it, tell me, and I'll buy a bottle too, and we can do a taste test comparison.
What are you eating right now with your dinner? I'm just curious what you're pairing your Chipotle beer up.
Tacos?
This beer would be good with chips and salsa or tacos.
Okay.
But right now I'm eating boiled shrimp and rice.
See, on here it says great with steak. So, I don't know.
Okay, good job, Russell.
Way to read the bottom. Rick,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
last words for episode 5 of Beer Me 3, the IPA? What did you want to call this? IPA?
The IPA strikes back.
No, it was like no use for another hot pun.
No use for another hot pun.
Yeah,
What
because
up?
oh my god, every brewery on the planet now. You want to make an IPA? Sure. Don't give it a punny name. That's just it's overdone. It's classless. Get the hell out of here.
Except for Orlando, you guys can do it.
Puns.
Okay, Orlando Brewery, please make 10 different IPAs, all punnier than the last, please.
That's a really good point because I like the artwork. I love it. I hate puns on beers. It's just like, enough. Okay, just make
What's
good
a
beer.
pun on a beer? I've never. Could you guys give me an example of one? Because I don't know if I've seen one.
Like, pun so hard, Just, that's-
Like
Oh, like
there's a
hot
brewery.
so hard?
Yeah, or like there's a brewery that has their IPA is called Hop Gun, and they have like little hop jet planes on their thing. Like, it's
yes.
just too much.
Oh my
Funky
god, I
Buddha,
gotta
and
buy
they're
that.
awesome. Enjoy them. But yes, I'm sorry. Don't get punny. I hate that so much. Like you, I'm picky with labels, and I shouldn't be. And I shouldn't be picky with puns, but at face value, it's just trite.
Trying to. Optimus Prime. That was one that stuck out to me. Saw that
Well,
one.
if
I
you
was
got an airplane one themed Hop Gun, you might as well have a car one themed Hop Gear.
like, Optimus Prime. Let's see, Tart of Darkness.
That's not a play of. That's not punny for hops because Tart of Darkness is a sour stout anyway.
No, I'm
Why
just
don't you
saying
have one called Malt Disney?
puns in general on beers. Mash of the Titans. For those about the Bach, that's a
Malt
hop
Disney.
Walt Disney.
without
Hop, drop, and
representation.
roll, Hopocalypse. Just
Representation. Mama's Little Yellow Pills. Java the Nut.
see, I don't mind too many of those. I just hate how the hop one is completely overdone.
I'm over all puns. I'm just like, stop. Just be original. Have your own original name. Something that make up a word that I've never heard before. You know?
And have decent labels.
And decent labels, yes.
Decent labels. Can't stress them enough.
There we go. Well, hey, Teresa, do you have any last words to leave episode 5, IPA, stop making up pun names? I think that's a name.
I wish I could appreciate IPAs more, and you guys are way too smart for me with the beers. But
Hey.
I like it. I like learning.
I'm not.
There's a lot of learning going on here.
We definitely welcome you back on every
Yeah.
time when we meet up, and even if you have critters in your house, you know. we
Oh,
still-
I forgot about those, man. Why'd you have to remind me? Dang it.
and Randall, enjoy your stupid cheesecake.
It's already over. It's been done for a while now. But I got a good name for this podcast. We could call it the Hot Pyre Strikes Back, episode 5.
That was a stretch. That was a stretch.
It's a stretch, but I'll go with it because I'm a Star Wars geek. So
And
I
to our
approve.
one viewer, thank you for watching. I don't know who you are. Thank
I know
you.
who it is.
yeah,
Oh.
maybe it's Chris in Orlando. I don't know.
If it's Chris from Orlando or Mike from Gainesville, we thank you all for avid watchers of the show, and we wish that you continue to support us in everything we do. And I've drank a really nice double IPA, and it's delicious.
Hooray.
Ah.
Hey guys, episode 5. Thanks.